The greatest flex isn't proving your haters wrong, it's making them regret ever doubting you. These 30 darkest mind tricks will make them your biggest fans. Before we start, let me make one thing clear. Watch this video all the way through. Every trick is connected. Building on the last and skipping ahead could break the flow. Trust me, to truly master these tactics, you need to see how they all fit together. Trick number 1. The strategic compliment track. If someone doesn't like you, they're expecting resistance or defensiveness. Instead, disarm them with a carefully crafted compliment that makes them feel understood and valued. For example, I can see why people respect you. You're not afraid to speak your mind even when it's difficult. This does 2 things. It strokes their ego while subtly framing their hostility as strength. Over time, this unexpected warmth catches them off guard, making them question their dislike for you. By presenting yourself as someone who values their qualities, you start reshaping their perception and subtly win them over without direct confrontation. Trick number 2. The unexpected ally. The public ally strategy is a clever way to win over someone who doesn't like you by leveraging public support to shift their perception. Here's how it works. When the person you're dealing with presents an idea publicly, support it even if you don't fully agree. For instance, during a meeting you could say, I think they're on to something here. Let's explore this further. This accomplishes 2 things. 1, it disarms them by showing unexpected support, making it harder for them to justify why hostility toward you. 2, it positions you as a collaborator rather than an adversary, planting the seed of mutual respect. Over time, this small but strategic act can shift their opinion as they begin to associate you with fairness and open-mindedness. Trick number 3. The controlled flaw technique. The controlled flaw technique is a subtle yet powerful technique to win over someone who dislikes you. By admitting to a harmless personal flaw, you can appear more human and relatable, softening their perception of you. For example, say something like, I know I can be a little too blunt sometimes, but I'm working on it. This shows humility and self-awareness, disarming their negativity. Vulnerability, when used strategically, breaks down barriers and encourages them to see you in a more favorable light. It's a calculated move that shifts the dynamic in your favor. Trick number 4. The gratitude tactic. The gratitude tactic is a subtle way to win over someone who dislikes you by leveraging unexpected appreciation. Thank them for something they've done, even if it was small or unint. For example, thanks for sharing your thoughts earlier. It really made me rethink my perspective. This unexpected acknowledgement makes them feel valued and important, disarming their negativity. Over time, this simple act of gratitude can shift their perception of you, opening the door for a more positive dynamic. Trick number 5. The mirror connection. The mirror connection is a psychological strategy to subtly win over someone who dislikes you by reflecting their tone and body language. For example, if they're calm and reserved, mirror their demeanor by speaking softly and maintaining composed gestures. If they're animated, match their energy with enthusiasm. This technique taps into the subconscious, creating a sense of familiarity and connection. When people feel like you're in sync with them, it becomes harder for them to maintain negative feelings, paving the way for a more positive relationship. Trick number 6. The power of absence. The power of absence is a subtle strategy to shift someone's perception of you by leveraging the psychological impact of space and curiosity. Instead of trying to win them over immediately, pull back and give them some distance. For example, reduce your interactions or step away from situations where you'd usually engage with them. When you eventually reappear, the contrast created by your absence can spark curiosity and diminish their hostility. This tactic works because people often reassess their feelings in the absence of constant stimuli, giving you a fresh opportunity to reshape their perception. Trick number 7. The third-party compliment. The third-party compliment is a clever way to shift someone's opinion by leveraging The power of indirect praise. Find a mutual acquaintance and say something positive about them that's likely to be relayed back. For example, I have to admit, their work ethic is impressive. Hearing this praise secondhand creates a sense of validation and may prompt them to reassess their negative feelings toward you. This tactic works because people tend to view compliments from others as more genuine, allowing you to build rapport without directly confronting the individual. Trick number 8. The common enemy. The common ground strategy involves finding a shared frustration or enemy to bond over, creating an instant sense of camaraderie. For example, if you're dealing with someone who doesn't like you, try saying, is it just me, or is this new policy making things unnecessarily complicated? By focusing on a mutual frustration, you shift the focus from personal differences to a shared problem. This tactic subtly creates a bond and positions you as an ally even with someone who previously harbored negative feelings toward you. The common enemy pulls you both together, lowering their defenses and opening the door for better rapport. Trick number 9. The emotional validation technique. The emotional validation technique is a powerful way to connect with someone who dislikes you by acknowledging and validating their feelings. For example, when they express frustration or excitement, respond with something like, that does sound frustrating, I'd feel the same way. By validating their emotions, you show empathy and understanding, which builds rapport and makes you seem more approachable. This technique helps break down emotional barriers, making it harder for them to maintain negative feelings as they begin to see you as someone who understands and resonates with their experiences. Trick number 10. The silent helper. The silent helper is a subtle technique that allows you to win over someone who dislikes you by offering help without seeking recognition. For instance, if you notice they've made a mistake, quietly fix it without drawing attention to it, or take care of a small task that makes their job easier. This unspoken assistance creates a sense of indebtedness without any direct confrontation. Over time, it shifts their perception of you as they begin to associate you with reliability and support, even if they don't acknowledge it openly. It's a way of building trust and improving their view of you through consistent, unnoticed actions. Trick number 11. The mutual benefit. The mutual benefit approach involves framing your requests in a way that highlights how it will also benefit the other person. For example, you could say, if we collaborate on this, I think it could really showcase your strengths. By presenting your request in terms of their personal gain, you make it easier for them to see the value in cooperating. People are naturally more inclined to help when they feel they're getting something out of it, and this tactic subtly shifts their focus from any negative feelings to the potential benefits of working together. Trick number 12. The curious calm. The curious calm is a technique for diffusing criticism by responding with calm curiosity, which shifts the focus from conflict to understanding. For example, when they criticize, you respond with something like, that's an interesting perspective, can you tell me more about what you mean? This approach takes the heat out of the situation, making it harder for them to escalate the confrontation. It forces them to engage with you rationally rather than emotionally, while also signaling that you're open to dialogue. Over time, this can soften their negative perception of you as they start to see you as someone who responds thoughtfully, not defensively. Trick number 13. The future frame. The future frame technique involves speaking about the person in a way that implies future collaboration, subtly shaping their perception of your relationship. For example, you could say, I can't wait to see how we'll work together on this. This positive assumption sets an expectation of cooperation and subtly pushes them to envision a productive partnership with you. It creates a sense of inevitability around working together, making it harder for them to maintain a negative stance as it shifts the narrative toward teamwork and mutual success. Trick number 14. The scarcity effect. The scarcity principle leverages the psychology of rarity to increase your perceived value. By not making yourself too available, you create a sense of exclusivity around your time and attention, for example. Avoid being overly responsive or always present. Instead, space out your interactions and be selective about when and how you engage. This subtle approach taps into the idea that people tend to value what seems rare or hard to get. Over time, this can increase their desire to connect with you as they begin to view your presence as more valuable and worthwhile. Okay, before we continue this video, let me tell you something important. When I started this channel, so many of you asked for one thing: a recommendation for a book that could give you an edge, a real advantage in life. Well, I found it, and it's not just a book, it's an ebook that you can start reading right now. It's called The Tactician's Handbook: 99 Dark Strategies to Outsmart and Overpower People. This ebook is your ultimate guide to mastering the art of influence and control. You'll learn how to disarm threats, read people like a pro network effortlessly, and outsmart anyone who stands in your way. The link to download it is in the comments and the description below. If you're serious about taking control of your future, don't wait, grab it now. Now let's get back to the video. Trick number 15, the seed planting technique. The seed planting technique involves subtly suggesting ideas that align with their goal, making them associate success with your influence. For example, you could say, it seems like someone with your skills would excel in that project. This subtle suggestion plants the idea that collaborating with you or pursuing a particular path will help them achieve their goals. By framing the idea in a way that appeals to their ambitions, you not only make them feel empowered but also create a subconscious link between their success and your input, enhancing their perception of you. Trick number 16, the connection bridge. The connection bridge involves casually mentioning shared connections or experiences to create a sense of mutual respect and familiarity. For example, you could say, I was talking to Sarah and they mentioned how much they admire your work. This tactic works because it subtly associates you with positive feedback and shows that others respect them. By leveraging mutual connections, you foster a sense of camaraderie and respect, which can make them more open to seeing you in a positive light without feeling pressure. Trick number 17, the empathy approach. The empathy approach involves offering genuine emotional support without trying to immediately solve the problem. For example, when they're upset, respond with, that sounds really tough, I'm here if you need to talk. This shows that you care about their feelings and are willing to listen without offering solutions or judgments. Sometimes simply being present and empathetic can create a stronger emotional bond and change how they feel about you as they begin to see you as someone who genuinely understands and supports them. Trick number 18, the agreement softener. The agreement softener involves finding common ground on neutral points to reduce tension, even if you disagree on the main issue. For example, when discussing something they're frustrated with, say, you're right. This part of the process is frustrating. By acknowledging small areas where you both agree, you soften their resistance and create a sense of mutual understanding. This makes them more open to hearing your perspective, as it shows you're not fully opposed to their feelings, even if you disagree on the bigger picture. Trick number 19, the social validation trick. The social validation trick uses the power of social influence to shape how someone perceives you. To implement this, create opportunities for others to see you being positively received or respected. Host a meeting where you share your ideas confidently, or let mutual friends speak highly of you in casual conversations. This subtle form of social proof works because people are naturally influenced by how others perceive someone. When they see that others value and respect you, it can prompt them to reconsider their own views, making them more likely to view you in a positive light as well. Trick number 20, the confidence amplifier. Confidence is magnetic even to those who might Initially dislike you project calm self-assurance without coming across as arrogant, for example, when sharing an idea. Speak with conviction, I believe this approach will deliver results, and here's why: this combination of confidence and humility earns respect, subtly reshaping their perception of you, even if they don't fully agree. Trick number 21: the quiet observer. People naturally gravitate toward those who make them feel heard. Letting them do most of the talking builds rapport. For instance, when they're venting or brainstorming, stay engaged by asking questions like what inspired that idea. Active listening positions you as a supportive presence, breaking down their defenses over time. Trick number 22: the reputation boost. Publicly recognizing someone's contributions enhances their standing and builds goodwill. For example, I thought Alex's idea earlier was fantastic. It really got me thinking. This tactic plants the seeds of reciprocity by making them look good. You subtly encourage them to view you more favorably. Trick number 23: the boundary respecter. Sometimes the best way to win someone over is to honor their need for space. Avoid overstepping or forcing engagement. For example, if they seem disengaged, step back politely. No problem. We can revisit this when it works better for you. This maturity and self-awareness gradually shift their perception of you. Trick number 24: the neutral ground. Connecting over light, neutral topics avoids unnecessary tension while creating moments of positive interaction. For example, have you tried that new cafe down the street? It's worth a visit. These casual conversations lay the foundation for rapport without any pressure or confrontation. Trick number 25: the unexpected humor. Humor can be a powerful tool to disarm tension and foster connection. For example, if they're being critical, respond with a playful comment. Yikes, I'll remember not to mess up around you again. This lightheartedness breaks down barriers, making you seem approachable and easygoing. Trick number 26: the proactive fixers solve a problem before they even ask, showing initiative and dependability. For example, if they're struggling with a task, offer quiet support. Hey, I noticed this issue and thought I'd fix it. It should help. This builds goodwill, leading them to rethink their stance on you. Trick number 27: the knowledge sharer. Offering valuable insights without expecting anything in return. Positions you as an ally. For example, I found this article on topic they're interested in. Thought it might help with your project. Sharing helpful information makes it harder for them to see you as anything but a resourceful, supportive presence. Trick number 28: the reverse criticism. When they critique you, flip the narrative by showing gratitude. For example, thanks for the feedback. It's given me a new perspective. This response diffuses negativity and shows open-mindedness, gradually shifting how they perceive you. Trick number 29: the subtle optimist. Optimism is contagious, even in tough situations. For example, during a challenging discussion, say it's a tricky problem, but I'm confident we can find a solution together. By consistently projecting positivity, you shift the tone of interactions, influencing how others view you over time. Trick number 30: the long game. Winning over someone who doesn't like you isn't an overnight process. It requires consistency, patience, and strategic actions. By making small, positive moves over time, such as showing empathy, finding common ground, or demonstrating reliability, you create gradual shift in their perception. Each small win adds up, slowly dismantling their negative view of you and building a foundation of respect. Stay patient and consistent in your efforts over time. The accumulation of these subtle interactions can change their opinion, making it increasingly difficult for them to hold on to their dislike. Winning over someone who doesn't like you isn't about forcing a connection. It's about shifting perceptions subtly and strategically. Use these 30 tricks carefully and you might just turn an enemy into an ally. Which trick do you think would work best in your situation? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more psychological strategies like this.